Russia just tested a new medium-range ballistic missile called Orshnik, or Walnut, and Putin seems pretty proud of it. In a recent address, he revealed that this missile is designed to be unstoppable. Apparently, no modern air defense system can intercept it. It flies at an insane speed of 10 Mach, which is about 2.5 to 3 kilometers per second. Yeah, that's fast. The first target, a military factory in Dnipro, Ukraine, that produces rocket tech. This was supposedly a response to Ukraine's long-range missile strikes on Russia. Putin claims they'll warn civilians in potential strike zones ahead of time, emphasizing humanitarian reasons. But let's be real, this is also a clear signal to the West about Russia's advancing military capabilities. What's next? According to Putin, future targets will depend on perceived threats to Russia. It sounds like they're using these tests not just for military strategy, but also as a way to showcase their firepower. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Ukraine's President Zelensky didn't hold back after Putin announced Russia had used its new Orshnik ballistic missile to hit Dnipro, one of Ukraine's largest cities. In his evening address, Zelensky called this a massive escalation, accusing Russia of blatantly violating the UN Charter and ramping up the brutality of the war. He also pointed out that this isn't the first big move this year. Russia already brought North Korea into the conflict, reportedly deploying at least 11,000 of their troops to support the war effort. Now, with this missile strike, Zelensky says Putin has taken things to a whole new level. Earlier, Putin had claimed the Orshnik missile is unstoppable by modern air defense systems, and that the attack was a response to Ukraine's use of Western-supplied long-range missiles. The message is clear. Russia is stepping up, and the stakes are higher than ever. Looks like Russia is tightening up its airspace again, and this time it's around St. Petersburg. According to reports, they're planning some missile tests today and tomorrow. This lines up with what happened yesterday when they launched that Orshnik ballistic missile targeting Dnipro in Ukraine. Seems like these airspace closures are becoming a bit of a pattern. This morning, flights at Pulkovo International Airport in St. Petersburg were briefly grounded. Officially, there's no clear reason for the halt, but there are rumors about an unidentified flying object that apparently led to Russian fighter jets being scrambled. Interesting, right? The Kremlin says Putin's in the loop, but so far, he's staying quiet on the whole thing. The good news? The airspace is back open now. Still, you have to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. Tests? Threats? Or just flexing some military muscle? So here's the deal. Russia is calling out the UK, claiming it's now directly involved in the war in Ukraine. Why? Because those British-made Storm Shadow missiles were reportedly used to hit targets inside Russia. This came straight from Russia's ambassador to the UK, Andrei Keelan, in an interview with Sky News. What's interesting is that this comes right after Western allies gave Ukraine the green light to use long-range missiles for strikes deep into Russian territory. Just days ago, Biden also approved a major shift in Western arms policy, signaling growing support for Ukraine's offensive moves. Keelan didn't hold back, accusing NATO and even British personnel of being actively involved in the strikes. He claims this kind of operation couldn't happen without direct NATO support. If true, this could escalate things even further, raising questions about where this war is headed next. Ukraine's former top military commander and current ambassador to the UK, Valery Zaluzhny, just dropped a bold statement. He believes World War III has already started. According to him, Ukraine isn't just fighting Russia anymore. It's facing troops and weapons from North Korea, Iranian drones openly killing civilians, and even Chinese parts being used in Russian missiles. It's like a coalition of Russia's allies against Ukraine. Zaluzhny pointed out that North Korean missiles are already being used in the war, and this kind of global involvement shows that the conflict is no longer regional. He warned that the world needs to wake up and act while there's still a chance to stop this from spiraling even further. According to him, Ukraine might hold the line for now, thanks to advanced technology, but it's unclear if they can win this alone. His words are a serious reality check. If this really is the start of something bigger, the world can't afford to ignore it. American journalist Jackson Hinkle didn't hold back, claiming that Zelensky's current policies are practically begging for Ukraine to be leveled. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Hinkle wrote that Ukraine should be eternally grateful for Putin's restraint, calling him calm, rational, and generous. This comment comes as tensions hit new heights. The U.S. reportedly approved Ukraine's use of long-range Storm Shadow missiles for strikes deep into Russian territory, and Bloomberg recently reported that Ukraine had already used them for such attacks. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov responded, calling this a dangerous new escalation. It's clear that the stakes are only getting higher, and both sides seem to be pushing limits.